Tonight on Friday Night Football, it's Sydney or the Bush in the first representative clash of the season.
Simon runs to the line. Dean Pay. Yes! As away goes Waramo. Needs support. The kick over the top. Brasher and Johns. Tim Brasher for City.
From Steelers Stadium, the City Slickers meet their country cousins in an all-out bid to win State of Origin selection.
Menzies, 10 metres out. Will they stop Stephen Menzies? No, they won't.
Good ball inside McGregor.
Here comes a try for country. David Woods has the try.
The best footballers from the New South Wales Talent Bank put their rugby league skills on parade.
It's one of the best country we've seen.
When City Origin take on Country Origin. Tonight on Wide World of Sports.
It's only 17 days until the first match in this year's State of Origin Rugby League Series. And tonight, as we welcome you to Steelers Stadium in Wollongong, all players take their first step towards a sky blue jersey in our annual City Origin versus Country Origin clash. Unfortunately, the weather is very reminiscent of last year. It's rained all day on the south coast, making things very wet underfoot. But more importantly, Paul Vorton, there's no doubt that this year the selectors have done a great job with these sides.
Pete, they're both very strong sides, and no doubt New South Wales selectors will be able to pick a fantastic New South Wales State of Origin team out of these teams. As you look at them now, the backs there, Brasher up against Mullins, that's a big test for the fullback spot in the blue jumper. Jorgensen, Eddinghausen, Hill, Beckett, Walker and Tuvia. There's plenty of pace there, Pete, in this City back line. And for the countryside, Wishart, Woods, Croker, Willis, Laurie Daly, Andrew Johns. The halves is the key to those particular players. And in the forwards, well, there's some boppers in these teams. Sewer up against Lazar, that'll be a beauty. Raper up against Terry Mesher. Got Carroll, Menzies, Fairley, Fittler up against Harrigan, Fernand, Dean Pay, Adam Muir. I just feel as though there's a bit too much skill in that pack for the countryside. And the reserves, both strong benches. Ainscoe, Mundine, he'll be a very exciting player when he comes on. Troy Stone gets his first taste, Luke Ricketson as well, and Johns, Pearson, Barnhill and Denny Lee. There's their respective coaches. Two of the best in the game, Pete.
Going through that, I get the impression you favour a City victory.
I just think that City will have a fraction too much skill for this countryside. The country's got some great players in there, but skill and pace-wise, I do favour City tonight.
Well, that was the case last year. It was a 16-8 victory to City. But interesting to note, since '87, when the concept Origin was introduced, Country's 2 wins were under the captaincy of Laurie Daly. That's the case again tonight. Now, to see if the Country boys can reverse last year's result, we now go to Ray Warren.
Thank you, Peter, and good evening, everybody, as Laurie Daly quite proudly takes the countryside out. The start of the rep season at Steelers Stadium, and remarkably similar to last year, when it was also played in wet conditions, a quagmire of a ground. And there's Daly out there with several of his Canberra teammates, Jason Croker in the 4, and Brett Mullins at the back. David Ferner up in the back of the scrum in the number 11 tonight. Promises to be a great match. The local hero, Rod Wishart, Glenn Lazarus, and the countryside, which Peter and Paul have already run through for you. Some State of Origin positions on the line. Brett Mullins, of course, against Tim Brasher. They are endless, the number of confrontations out there tonight. Tuvia and Andrew Johns, for instance. I'm wondering whether one of those, in fact, maybe certainly one of those, will be wearing the number 9 come State of Origin. Andrew Johns in the 7 tonight. His brother in 14 on the bench. And it continues the great career of the Johns brothers from Newcastle. David Woods, the number 3 from Parramatta. And here they are now, the City side. And Paul Sirenen, one of the survivors of the very first City versus Country Origin, which was played back in '87. And he hasn't played rep football since 1994. Well, Jeff Tuvey, of course, probably under some pressure. But just which way the selectors will go remains to be seen. Steve Roach is on the sidelines, keeping an eye on things. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, Ray. Ground in pretty good condition, considering that we've played 3 earlier games on this ground. City had won the toss, and they were running from left to right on your screen. Should be a good game. Only one injury worries for Country. Dean Pay only trained on Thursday, so he's the only doubtful player. Should be a good clash in the forwards.
Steve Roach on the sidelines. We stand by now for 1 minute silence in memory of the victims.
Please have you up standing for a minute's silence
of the Port Arthur massacre.
35 victims of the Port Arthur massacre in Tasmania. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now tonight we have a special guest.
Tonight, this match will be started by a celebrity kickoff, and given that honour is that man, the great Graham Changa Langland. 227 first grade games, 4th all-time point scorer on 1,554 points, 34 tests for Australia, and 189 points in those test matches. Graham Langland, one of the heroes of the South Coast, and of course a product of city versus country from way, way back. A lot of youngsters may never have seen this man play rugby league, but he was a champion centre, even as good at fullback. Maybe it's the other way around. He's had his problems with health, and he has put on a bit of poundage too, the great Chang. But great to see him back here at Steelers Stadium. A member of the great St George side. He came along at the end of that. As we find the kick-off from right to left, it's country, sponsored by the MMI people, as they've done for so long, and Jeff Tuvey it is who brings it back for the city side. About 15 metres away from their own line, they send Carroll ahead, and Carroll is met and put down with a strong tackle over the top by Croker. And now for Sheridan, and Sheridan is met by Croker. And welcome back to rep football, Paul, as big Harrigan went looking for him. And now David Fairley is taken and forced back by David Fernand in the 11. They surge in, and Laurie Daly gets amongst the tackle as well with Dean Pay, who'll be looking to return to form tonight. And now Tim Brasher puts a kick in that bounces favourably and over towards the sideline. But Mullins, he's taken it back and away from the sideline. First touch for country. And now we find them going infield and away with Darren Willis. And here's a penalty going to the countryside.
Yes, a second tackle there against the city tacklers. And it is good to see that the ground has held up remarkably well considering the amount of rain. Last year, of course, a lot of surface water. This year, that's not the case. And we might just delight in the running talents of the Brett Mullins and the Steve Menzies this evening.
So a big surge. As country now take it down into an area where they will set up an attacking raid on the city line. They've won twice in the 9 contests between city and country under the Origin format. And that is Adam Muir, who had that outstanding game that we covered for you last Sunday at Marathon. And here's Dean Pay now taking it ahead with Fernand running in close proximity. Cherry Mesher is the hooker. He had a great game in this match last year. Back and across the ruck, and Daly puts it on the boot. It's a good night for the kick. Brasher comes away, but the referee, Paul McBlain, has called it up and given a penalty to country. Of course, they are well served with goal kickers, and David Fernand and Andrew Johns fit into that category, but Andrew will come up and take this penalty shot. He played at the ball, Andrew Walker. Whether that's had anything to do with the decision, I'm not sure.
Well, I think it goes against Paul Sheridan for interfering with Laurie Daly on the chase. A switch of play, which I think we'll see plenty of from Andrew Johns, back across the ruck. Well-executed move there, and Daly has the... First chance for Andrew Johns, who told us on the footy show that he enjoys the kicking role. He likes the pressure. And you'll see him take plenty of time over this kick. He's one player who really and not leave anything to chance when he lines up to kick.
Came back last Sunday after only missing 2 matches through an appendix operation. And this was why he wanted to get back and get that match, pardon the pun, but under the belt. And here he is now from 15 metres out, and he hits the uprights, and it bounces back into the field of play. And here, Paul Fernand responds, pulling him down, David Woods. So City with all the pressure on their shoulders at the moment, played by Aaron Raper. And David Fairley tries to step his way between the forwards. They combine to pull him down, including the chief Harrigan. Now, Mark Carroll, and there's a good hard tackle. And David Fernand was to the fore. See plenty of Fernand. He's blossomed as a footballer. He's an 80-minute footballer. He'll have the ball in his hands plenty of times. He'll make plenty of tackles. Mullins is with it now. Fittler was the tackler with Eddinghausen, one of the game's best chasers. Now through from Daly, it's gone to Wishart, coming in off his left wing, met by Tuvey, and over the top. Making the tackle was Menzies, and Mesha comes back to the left and finds Harrigan. Harrigan up to the halfway line, and 3 of the City players again there to pull him down and put him away. David Fairley, one of them. Now Dean Pay taking it right back to the 10-yard or the 10-metre line, suggesting that maybe the City side didn't come up as quick as they might. And now Adam Muir playing with the number 13 on his back tonight. Centre of the ground. They go to the right, and it's Andrew Johns who chooses to go high. And again, good tactics and a pressure situation here for City. Did it come off Brasher's hands? I think it did, and it is a penalty.
And this is how the referee has seen it. It looked harmless when Beckett took the football, but McLean was right there on the spot, and Andrew Johns, no doubt, another shot at goal for him. Surprised to see him miss that first one.
What's the situation with the breeze blocker? It seemed to move around a great deal with that first kick and the high kick just a moment ago.
Yes, it's blowing right across the field from the east, and it's probably in favour of City, just a fraction.
And this was the situation where Roland Beckett had little option to do what he did. Number one, he probably wasn't Robbie Beckett.
Roland, you pulled one out there.
Yeah, and one thing's for sure, you wouldn't miss it.
Oh, we didn't miss.
Mind you, the scoreboard reads favourable. It's 40-15 my way. Serving with new balls. You do get a free serve on that footy show.
They're the best ones to serve with, Rabs.
Now, Andrew Johns raises the flag. First points on the board. And it's Country Origin 2 over City Origin. No score after 5 minutes.
Country Origin 2.
Magna can leap from 0 to 100 in a mere 8.2 seconds. But when it comes to your test drive, we prefer you to take as much time as you like. Please consider the new Mitsubishi Magna.
We've slashed the prices off new season's gear. At Lowe's, flannelette shirts, not $13, $10. Knitwear and assorted patterns were $25, slashed to $20. At Lowe's, hurry in.
And the dessert is apple and custard. Scrumptious apple and custard pies, just 95 cents, appearing May only at McDonald's.
Yeah, hold that. Beautiful. Don't move, don't move. That's really good. Now, come on. Turn left, 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 left. That's it, that's it. Hold that. Lovely. Yeah, I like it, I like it. Big smile. Oh, you're hot, baby. You're really hot. That is so beautiful. Now, look at me, look at me. Big smile. Give me that smile. Only you can do it. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, hold. Look this way. Chin up, chin up.
Sid's Baby Snaps competition. Enter your baby's photo at the Parents, Babies and Children's Expo in your capital city or call this number for details.
We want it, we got it at Harvey Norman. As autumn leaves fall, so do the prices at Harvey Norman. Hurry in for a Sharp Micro system with CD and radio cassette, $3.99. You save $70. This Sanyo bread maker comes with bonus bread mix and a $30 saving, just $2.49. Also from Sanyo, we have a digital headphone radio cassette with auto reverse, $79. You save a whopping $50. $129 is all you'll pay for a Braun Espresso Master coffee machine. Save $30.
Hey, you want it, we got it at Harvey Norman.
Australia's #1 mobile phone dealer, Stratfield, has more great digital deals. Connect to Telstra Mobile at Digital, and this Motorola Digital Flip phone is only $149. Or this Nokia Digital handheld for just $169. Upgrade your old analog phone, and MobileNet will redirect your calls for 6 months for free. The choice is yours. The Motorola Digital $149 or the Nokia Digital $169. For full conditions, see...
An ordinary man.
Your daughter's been kidnapped.
An impossible choice.
Is the woman in the picture or your daughter?
How far would you go?
What are you going to do?
To save the only one you love. Johnny Depp, Nick of Time.
Welcome back to Steelers, the venue for the City Country Origin match tonight. And Country Origin, Glenn Lazarus bringing it back, his first hit up of the game. It took him almost to the 20-metre line. Harrigan lends his weight to the Country surge up the ground. Harrigan's slow to get up.
Yes, Sirenan's also. He copped the forearm from Paul Harrigan. A little bit surprised that wasn't called up, actually.
Yeah, it hurts, Ciro. Got him right around the neck.
Now Fernand. David playing it back for Mesher to flick it up. And Dean Pay is 15 metres on his own side of the halfway. Cherry Mesher, a look around and looking for the playmakers. And Andrew Johns went for the alternate kicker in Brett Mullins. And now they bring it back to the 40-metre line. That's Peter Jorgensen wearing a rugby league rep jumper for the first time. This is Terry Hill. And City down 2 points to 0. It could have easily been 4. But Andrew Johns 1 from 2 in greasy conditions, but a ground that has held up amazingly as Fittler goes for the cutout pass. It came off Eddinghausen, but I don't know that it came off the arms. And the referee said knock backwards, play on. Eddinghausen scampers out from dummy half. And playing tonight in the centres, Andrew Eddinghausen. Now for Aaron Raper, former teammate. Fittler off the left foot, looking for the line. It'll roll away down onto that corner and hitting the post, which means it'll come back out to the 20-metre line. Corner post is part of the in-goal area, so back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
He's got great ability, Brad Fittler, being able to kick left-footed is such an advantage for a kicker in general play. I actually think that he's a better lock forward than 5'8", and City will benefit from the fact that he's a little bit wider at the ruck generally and not taking the ball as first receiver.
Country then, out on the 30-metre line. It's Dean Pay, who already in this match, and we haven't seen a lot of Parramatta, but there has been a lot of comment about Dean and suggestive that he hasn't been on form. And this will give him an ideal opportunity to regain some lost admirers as Tim Brasher uses Peter Jorgensen, and Jorgensen is cut down by Adam Muir. So it was a good chase there by Country, and Brasher on the end of the Lazarus shoulder and away from Andrew Johns, and taken in the third tackle by David Fernand. Muir over the top, Raper the dummy half, Carroll takes it up and reaches the 30-metre line on City's end of the ground. 2-0, a penalty goal for Andrew Johns, his brother on the bench, waiting his chance anxiously. Sirenan losing the ball, looks at that big right hand of his as he gets up. There's going to be, I would imagine, plenty of that.
Yeah, well, territory-wise, it's been all Country. Another mistake made here by City, which puts pressure on themselves.
One of the battles out there that probably hasn't been spoken about a great deal is the one in the centres. This man, David Woods, no secret I've had an enormous rap on him. I think he could be anything if he can just get an injury-free run. And Jason Croker, his centre partner, is the consummate professional, underrated by everybody but his peers. Against Hill and Eddinghausen, that'll be a good battle out wider.
So it's the Countryside now. Again, having the better of the territory, as Paul pointed out, and starting to mount another attacking raid, and they're building it on Lazarus at the moment. Mesha looking around. Andrew Johns has got the call. And Daly's on the other side of the ruck. Here's Daly with it now. He puts it on the right foot. They roll it into the in goal, and Brasher has already earned his money. And then he's been banged into the ground. It'll be a line drop out to restart. Steve Roach, a comment from the sideline.
Yeah, plenty of pressure on for New South Wales jobs at the moment. Paul Sirinan and Stephen Menzies doing an enormous amount of tackling.
This is good pressure and good tactics. And Tim Brasher having to work overtime at the back. Go down the ground with the line drop out coming off the boot of Andrew Walker. Himself in that personal battle with Laurie Daly. It might be described as the master and the pupil. And then, of course, there's young Mundine on the bench waiting for his turn. Here's Mesha taking his first run of the game. He's quite quick out of there. And now away again from Johns, and he's found his captain from Newcastle, Paul Harrigan, taking it within about 18 metres of the line. Andrew Johns now scheming and stepping off the left foot. His run ends about 8 metres out. Mesha is there to serve it on the right. And now Lazarus. Lazarus gets it back. A one-hander for Pay. A similar pass for Daly. Daly, he gets it away. David Woods looks for the angles, and Wishart taken out of it.
Yeah, good defence here by Jeff Turvey, who drifted across. He saw the ball going out wide. He was covering from the inside, and Wishy had a big look and just dropped the ball cold. And you see the ball, good offload there by Lazarus, something he doesn't do enough of, really. Just shows he's got the talent to do so, and there's Turvey covering over. Well done by Turvey.
It's really disorganised, that centre six from country. First three rucks, they weren't quite sure who was hitting the ball up or who was getting into dummy half. Now Jeff Turvey with a dummy half roll. Straight away, City go wide to a cutout to Andrew Eddinghausen.
His run ending under the hands of Darren Willis, and now Steve. Menzies, well, there are players down. Just trying to identify the country player it's Adam Muir. He's been heavily concussed in that confrontation, and country come across for Beckett, and Beckett is down about 32 metres out from the country line. Muir is struggling to get back in the defensive line as Tuvey spreads it, and now Fittler turns it inside looking for Menzies and finding him, and he's been held down as long as he can by Glenn Lazarus. Referee indicates last tackle. Tuvey off to the right. Fittler to the boot, into the air. The chasers from Brasher. Up they go, and Brasher came down with it. No contest. It'll be a turnover.
Yeah, bad luck. He couldn't offload a brilliant take. And Paul McLean, he's a good referee, but he's got to watch his 10 metres. This is only about 7 metres, the last ruck. There's been a few of them.
Plenty of confidence shown by City, preparing to throw the football on their own line. Some lovely touches from Andrew Eddinghausen as Muir leaves the field.
Here was that clash. Now Adam Muir's place on the field has been taken by David Barnhill. As Dean Pay brings it out towards his own 30-metre line. There's the fresh man on, David Barnhill. And Johns it is that cleared. A knock-on back there by Brasher. Tim had something to say. Replay might be more conclusive. It looked as though it was just straight up and down stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he had much of an argument there, Tim Brasher, and very unusual to see him get in a situation where he's all at sea under the high ball.
Well, nobody can doubt his involvement. He's been on the end of all of their attacking raids, trying to clean it up. And then he was the man that chased the kick. And then he was back in the full-back position, and probably unfair of him, or unfair on him, to suffer the embarrassment. Oh! Croker's put a big right hand out, put on a fend, and then is beautifully picked up by Eddinghausen. But there's trouble here for City. Country with Daly, spreading it across, picking up Andrew Johns, and three of the City players desperately put him away. Mesha now into dummy half. They go across to Daly and back in for Dean Pay, and Pay is hit there by Sirinan and put away 10 metres out from the line. Now it's with Harrigan, a one-hander back for Lazarus. Lazarus, he's put away again by a three-man tackle. A great break made by Jason Croker. Now for Daly, on for Andrew Johns, and Johns is put away and put down by Andrew Walker. Fifth tackle. This is taking some real courage from City. Daly rolls it in, and it's been cleaned up there by Darren Willis. Well, tremendous rugby league, particularly from City, not from Willis, but Beckett.
Well, in one fell swoop, Andrew Walker found out what representative football is all about. The big friend from Jason Croker put him on his backside. And it was Andrew Eddinghausen who had to turn and chase, showing just how much speed he has still got. Great try-saving tackle. And then at the end there, a little kick through again from Daly. Croker on his inside. Robbie Beckett coming across. Couldn't get back into the field of play.
So again, the familiar sight of the blue and gold jumpers coming down the ground in pursuit of their line dropout. And an equally familiar sight as Big Glenn Lazarus brings it back. Robbie Beckett is limping. So City have got their share of problems, and now they've forced a handling error here.
Well, City have done so well defensively, and they must be worrying to the countryside. They haven't got over the line yet. City have had to make 68 tackles to the country's 37, which just shows you how much possession they've had, country. But as Peter said, when they get near that line, they do tend to become a little bit disorganised, and plenty of players turning around looking for someone to do something and nothing happening.
Andrew Walker trying to get away from double half. Daly right on top of him. Ainscough has gone on in 14 now, and he's been out injured, but selectors are aware of the potential that he's got. He's on the field at the moment as Robbie Beckett comes off for some attention. Driving kick down the ground by Brad Fittler has turned Mullins around. Mullins took a quick look over the shoulder to see how much time he might have had if he had to bring it back, and he did that. And then Eddinghausen, you'll find him in your face all night long when it's a chase that's required.
And that's a very cool play by the fullback, Brett Mullins. Very smart to look over his shoulder just to see where the chasers were, how quickly they'd arrived. And there's a mistake by Country. You wonder whether they might be the team that opens up after applying all the attack in this match so far.
And there's a good chance that it might be coming now. David Fernand coughed it up. Andrew Walker slides the pass. Pressure gets it on. Terry Hill gets it away. Oh, it's taken the corner post as they tried to force it down. On the far side of the ground, it is Peter Jorgensen. And you'll see he reaches out. Terry Hill, then Jorgensen, and the corner post goes.
Oh, great tackle from Brett Mullins. Jorgensen was actually in touch before he got to the post. That's when the flag went up. Good ball from Andrew Walker, putting Tim Brasher into a little bit of space.
So this is Dean Play coming away as Adam Muir goes back on. Muir is back on, and David Barnhill has come off again, the best I can see. Mesher now as Country take it over the 30-metre line. This is Muir now.
And another good low tackle by Aaron Raper. That's his 11th tackle of the game. They've all been right around the legs. He's a wonderful defender.
Menzies then confronted with Lazarus coming at him one-on-one. Brought the big man down, and now the kick again, turning City around. And the touch judge indicating that it's found the touch line, so it'll come out for the mandatory 10-metre scrum.
And Peter Jorgensen doing his best to appeal that the ball touched the corner post. Would have been a 20-metre restart, but no joy for Jorgensen. He's now come across to this wing.
The pack weights. City with 8 kilos, the better of it. Played by Tuvey out on his own 20-metre line, and then through from Fittler to Menzies. Menzies, an angled run across, and Daly was there to make the tackle with Fernand. Now Sirenen. Mesher comes out of the line. Sirenen loses it, but backwards, and Walker is there now to play the ball. Raper using Carroll. Carroll, he's run into the shoulder of Dean Pay. Lazarus dived on him as a secondary tackle. Big Carroll, though, up and plays the ball, seemingly quite okay. Tuvey looking around for runners. 30 metres out from his own line, 2-0 in favour of Country. Andrew Johns with 1 penalty from 2 attempts. City have not really had anywhere near the opportunities. The tackle count, 81 tackles for City and 51 for Country. To give you some idea of the balance of the attacking power that Country has had.
And taking it to simpler terms, that means that Country have had 5 sets of 6 more than their opponents. In 20 minutes of football, that is a great deal.
And the reason Country haven't scored, one of the reasons, only 3 missed tackles in that 82 tackles. So that's great defence by the City side.
Harrigan then 30 metres away from the opposition line and long passing, and then Daly turns Fernand back in. Mullins is there. He passed, and it's been picked up by Andrew Johns. And on closer inspection on this, I'm wondering whether it actually came off one of the Country players after Mullins passes.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Mullins actually had the ball be knocked out, if anything, as he went to pass. And there it comes off Paul Sirenen's
It's
big
dead
arm.
set play on, Peter, you're quite right. Steve Roach, what about Robbie Beckett?
Yeah, strained medial ligament to Robbie Beckett. Bad luck for him.
So 25 metres out now from the City line. But little doubt in my mind, and Peter agrees, well, of course, you've seen the replays at home. Country were badly done by there as Sirenen is forced back. Harrigan, the tackler, together with Woods, and now it's with Fittler. And Fittler running into play, got a pass off. Brasher is there. And then Brasher gets away from Fernand. There's a bit of clutching and grabbing in the tackling. And it's played by Brasher back near the halfway line as they go back for Fittler and his right boot. Mullins now, 5 metres out from his own line. 20 metres away now. He's ridden into the ground by Menzies. Bouchard comes up to act as dummy half. And now for Daly, and then a short ball away for Darren Willis. Mesher. And this is Fernand. Fernand with a good run and able to get the ball back for Muir. But City starting to show some signs of wear and tear under this bombardment of attack that they've been repelling successfully and brilliantly. But I'm just watching players running away from dummy half and first receiver that are able to make long inroads before meeting the defence coming at them. Johns, he puts a high kick up. Another test for Tim Brasher. And with only the one exception, he's been solid. 22.5 minutes gone in the game.
He's a magnificent player, Tim Brasher, and I think when you see the New South Wales side named, you'll find both Brett Mullins and Tim Brasher in the team as Tootie finds some support now. Aaron Raper back centre field.
Troy Stone in 17. Getting ready for his first taste of rep football. Paul Sirenen coming off. And a lot of interchanging in this match will obviously be the situation as coaches and selectors get a look at as many as they can. And there it is, 90 on 60. So City have really had to do a lot of work. But the scoreboard hasn't got the rewards there for Country that they would expect given that tackle advantage they've got. Darren Willis just outside his own 30-metre line. The ground obviously quite greasier in the centre. Wishart. 24th minute coming up on the clock as Lazarus makes another strong burst, and he's caused problems there for Steve Menzies, I think.
And Mark Carroll was sickened by that blow as well. Lazarus dropping the hip as he came in. Laurie Daly, the precision kick into space, but Brasher again cleans up beautifully. Going back across field to look for some support. He's having all sorts of trouble putting the fullback down.
How good is he? I mean, Brett Mullins is going to have to play some super football tonight and over the next couple of weeks to force him out of the fullback spot, in my opinion. I think he's a great player, Timmy Brasher.
One of the young St George Lions just getting his first touch of the ball, Troy Stone. And Raper is in trouble. Aaron Raper is in big trouble. Terry Hill, an ankle tapping tackle back there by Rod Wishart, ending his progress. He had Jorgensen outside him. Now they come across for Brad Fittler to chip, and then Willis reads it well. Scampers across. He's very quick off the mark, Darren Willis. They're back on their own 30 as Mullins scoops it away for Daly. In fact, for Mesha. And now they go further to the right, and it's Harrigan. Harrigan and Lazarus, they haven't shirked their task. They've had so much football, and they've been very prominent in the hit-ups, ably supported by this man, Fernand, and Dean Pay, and now they go down for Andrew Johns, who chances a speculator back, and it puts Mullins under a lot of pressure.
Mullins wrapped up by Eddinghausen, as Paul Harrigan continues to look at the bench. I don't think he'll be out there for much longer. And really, that's another reason why Daly should be captain of the countryside. With the unlimited interchange rule, Harrigan is going to go on, bust himself for a period of time, and come off quite a few occasions in this match. Daly will be out there for the whole game.
Brasher coming down the right of the ground, pulled down by Darren Willis. Brett Mullins is trying to get some attention. He's unable to get that attention at the moment, his side being in defence. Fittler now. Carroll's come off for City. It's gone left, and this is Stone. Stone dragged down around the legs by Pay and by Muir over the top. Raper, I don't think he's totally recovered. Through the Tuvey and on for Walker, and then a second man play finding Menzies, and Menzies is wrestled down by David Woods. 33 metres out from the country line. Will they be the team that cracks first? Or cracks first to a try-scoring movement as Sirenen is back on. Raper is able to make good yardage and then put it on the right foot, but it finds the line. And so, with about 25 minutes gone, it is 2-0 in favour of Country over City.
It's Dag Boy.
No, come on, cut it out.
Hey, we'll get you zapped with David Copperfield. The Bad Loves, Smack Sharam, Paul Mercurio, and much more. Hey, it's Saturday live, 6:30 on NBN.
Give me, sir. Can you tell us what happened here? Come through here.
Yeah.
Nothing, mate, nothing. Does Gary have any firearms on the front? Has this happened before, really?
Look, I told you, don't tell him anything.
Gary's going to have to be arrested tonight, all right?
Don't live with the fear of domestic violence. Police want to help. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can help you.
There's a place by the river in Port Macquarie where the atmosphere is really great. Where you're greeted with a smile, a friendly hello, and how can we help you today? Well, here's an open invitation to join us for a drink and maybe something special to eat at the Port Macquarie and Royal Hotels, where good times and good friends meet. The Port Macquarie and Royal Hotels, where good times and good friends meet.
Pouring concrete can now be more rewarding with Port Mini Mix, who now have 2 trucks and can deliver more concrete. Port Mini Mix deliver a few barrows or as much as you want, 7 days a week, anytime. You can get the concrete when you want it. Port Mini Mix can give you advice on a do-it-yourself job or can arrange a contractor for you. Port Mini Mix, now with 2 trucks. Small trucks with a big heart.
Let Port Mini Mix make your day.
The silence will be shattered.
Call it a screamer.
Where are they coming from?
Underground.
From the author of Blade Runner and Total Recall.
We got a new kind of screamer.
We're smarter now. Get out of here! There's too many of them. It's useless.
Screamers.
There's a branch of agriculture for everyone at the 1996 Tocal Field Days, May 3rd, 4th and 5th at the C.B. Alexander Agricultural College, Tocal Patterson. You'll find trees for pleasure and profit, antique bottles and collectibles, craft demonstrations and farm animals, a glorious food and wine exhibit. You can learn to grow your own fruit and veggies or find out about the women in agriculture. And of course, the kids will love the calf rearing exhibit. The 1996 Tocal Field Days, brought to you in association with NBN Television.
Optus Cup action, 11:30 Saturday night with the Newcastle Knights taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Saturday night action only on NBN.
2-0 in favour of Country. 10-metre scrum won by the City side. And Brasher put down, there must have been a touch on that football. Here's Tuvey out wide. And Tuvey is wrestled down 10 metres out from his opposition line. The point I make is on the other side of the break, they must have got a hand on it, the Countryside, for City to have the feed. Now they pop a pass off and away from Raper. It's out to Stone, and Stone is held looking to unload. He's pulled down in a three-man tackle. Raper now, looking left, looking right, comes to the right, puts a kick in. Eddinghausen will score! Eddinghausen scores! Oh, Raper! Brilliant work by him. Quick thinking. The old teammates got together, and Eddinghausen has put it down for a try.
Yeah, the old teammates act, no doubt about it. The former Cronulla Shark and Aaron Raper sets it up beautifully for ET. That was the original one. It came off Daly's knee, and fair enough that City got the feed, and from there, four tackles later, here's Raper. No doubt some communication there between the two Sharks, or one's a former Shark, and ET just strolls over.
Yeah, taking advantage of the great speed of Andrew Eddinghausen. Brett Mullins was well and truly on the other side of the ruck. He had a long way to travel. Cherry Mesher tried valiantly to turn and chase. Eddinghausen with the fly exerts downward pressure on the football. The timing of the run was perfect, and the kick was very well placed.
He is having a great game, Aaron Raper. Defensively, I've said he's going very well, but also around the rucks, he's controlling things and making a few darting runs.
And as you pointed out, Paul, that try coming from two kicks on his behalf.
There's Andrew Walker's conversion from in close. No problems for him. And so the City side grabs the ascendancy. 6-2 up. They've been under a battering. The try again. Great understanding between Raper and Eddinghausen.
And great vision from Aaron Raper to realise that Brett Mullins was on the other side of the field, and to know that the Cronulla centre had come in to chase as Andrew Johns restarts. Brash allows that one to go through to Jorgensen. He'll bring it back about 18 out from his own line. It gets forced back to 8 from his line.
Jorgensen has switched from the left wing to the right since the loss of Beckett. Let Portains go over on the other side of the ground. Stone, almost 25 metres out from his line. Harrigan back on the country bench, and McBlain gives a penalty to City. The first penalty?
Yeah, City's first penalty.
First penalty to the City side.
30 minutes into the match, and they'll be in the opposing half after this great kick from Andrew Walker.
And the tide is starting to turn a little bit, not just on the scoreboard, but the fact that City are now starting to get some football and stringing together some possession. And they're also starting to play some better field position courtesy of that. Second tackle now, Troy Stone. Bit of this sting gone out of the country defence.
Twice they've won in this series in the 9 matches, as I pointed out, and both times captained by Laurie Daly. A hard tackle on Sirenen. I don't know that the tackler came off on top of it, though. Now out wide where Menzies is lurking. And he's put away by the country number 15, Brandon Pearson. This is Andrew Walker. Well marked, but he's had scant opportunity. Fittler now. High and across, and Mullins gets underneath it. Where is it? They've got it, City, but he's going to call it back.
Oh, he nearly got that one, Jorgensen, but it was on him too quickly. I think you'll find that he knocked on Brett Mullins in all sorts of trouble as play continues. There's Brasher going through, and Jorgensen, he knocked on.
It was knocked backwards off Brasher, so it was all there for Peter Jorgensen to grab his first representative try. This now is Danny Lee, the Cronulla workhorse. There's David Barnhill. Oh, picked him up and drove him into the ground. It was Andrew Walker and Mark Carroll. And I think it might be the number 6 that's going to be called out rather than Carroll. It is. And watch it now. He goes down and just picks him up and drives. The penalty will go to City. David Barnhill, to his credit, David bounced up very quickly.
Blocker, after half an hour in this game, how have you seen the front row battle?
Well, the interesting thing too, Peter, is that the replacement rule, as we're talking about it again, look, players like Lazarus and Carroll and also Sirenan are picked ahead of their players, and they shouldn't be taken off if this is truly a representative game.
Allowed more time to get some domination going, is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, they are picked originally better than the player that's on the bench, and they should be allowed a bit more time on the field, in my opinion.
Well, I think young Walker is rapidly running out of a friend in Paul McBlain. He's pinched him for a high tackle here.
I think on this occasion the ball was already gone, but he still went high, Walker, so he's paid the penalty.
Taking a battering tonight, Adam Muir. Now Danny Lee takes play to the centre of the ground. They're only about 15 metres out from the line, less than that. There's Dean Pay now. And from Mesher, Johns, and across the back, Daly into the centre. And Mullins. Drafting tackle by Raper. Fittler over the top. Mesher now to the right. Johns, and Andrew is able to flick it out the back for Danny Lee. And Lee is away from a high tackle from Fittler. 3 metres out. Mesher. John. Daly. Daly let one go, and then he provides a beautiful pass. And plunging in is Brendan Pearson. Big thrill to the Magpie centre. Daly was superb. Yeah. Pearson gets the try.
Pearson hit the ball at speed, didn't he? And just the change of angle with the runner coming back inside. It was their second set of 6 through that penalty. Daly dumming to the first one. Andrew Walker just drifting across. And actually, you'll find that the number 13, Adam Muir, acted as a decoy, almost a shepherd there to open the gap up for the try scorer.
Yeah, that's Brandon Pearson's big go. He's like a Chris Clace or a Noel Cleed on the burst, back on an inside ball, running hard and straight. And he's made many breaks playing for West that way, and he gets the first country try tonight in the same fashion.
Steve Menzies' ball that was put out by Adam Muir. Going to get a flimsy hole on the try scorer.
Yeah, half-pie shepherd there, but the referee decided to let it go. So the first touch on the night for Brandon.
So country coach Tom Rodonicus gets a double whammy out of the try. One of his own Magpies coming up with the first try for country. And 6 points all now, with a difficult assignment in front of Andrew Johns. That looks okay off the boot. Beautiful kick. Straight between the uprights. And so we've got country back in front by 2 after 34 minutes.
Hyundai. That XL5 Dual, fantastic value. Power steering, lots of space, fuel economy, and Hyundai's 100,000 kilometre warranty for just $17,990.
Drive away. All day, every day, Hyundai.
This week, Target is taking 20% off the mark price of all ladies' underwear. Bras, corsetry, men's and kids' underwear, plus no deposit lay-by. But hurry, before our prices snap back.
Ouch! Haven't I seen you down at Settlement City? The shopping heart of Port Macquarie. They've got everything you want, everything you need. It's a great way to shop, a great place to be. Haven't I seen you down at Settlement City? Your city's shopping heart.
Have you considered employment in the earth-moving industry? Queensland Skid Steer Loader Training School will soon be holding courses. Any male or female can enrol now and become a professional plant operator, whether it's an excavator, bobcat, backhoe, front-end loader or dozer. Enrolment numbers are limited and on-site training is available. For more information on this nationally accredited competency-based training, contact Queensland Skid Steer Loader Training School now on 3274-2577 and become a qualified operator.
An ordinary man.
My daughter's been kidnapped.
An impossible choice.
The woman in the picture, or your daughter.
How far would you go?
What are you going to do?
To save the only one you love. Johnny Depp, Nick of Time.
Better Electrical Discount
discounted package deals. Just $14.39 for the two. Our Fisher & Paykel 6-kilo washer and 5-kilo electronic dryer, a package price. $6.98's a better buy on Fisher & Paykel cyclic fridges with optional left or right opening doors. Pick up a catalogue. What's cooking? At $16.89, Fisher & Paykel underbench oven combos are hot, hot, hot.
Better electrical.
Discounted package deals.
Better.
Now for the test, Bill. Which pour-on kills worms for longer?
Ivermectin made 14 days.
But Cydectin keeps on killing worms when the others have given up.
Cydectin kills lice and is safe for dung beetles.
28 days. Cydectin wins because it kills worms for longer.
Westport Bowling Club and Coffs Harbour Catholic Club proudly present the 1996 Songmaker of the Year, Norma O'Hara Murphy, live on Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of May. Don't miss Norma O'Hara singing her wonderful songs written from the heart. Norma will be accompanied by top country musicians. Make it a date, Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of May to see Norma O'Hara Murphy in this farewell concert series prior to her major UK tour. Norma O'Hara Murphy live in concert is proudly supported by NBN Television.
On 60 Minutes.
The exploitation of children.
The power of one boy.
Unstoppably.
A 13-year-old's inspiring story.
I've seen it with my own eyes. This does exist.
He's convincing world leaders to stamp out child slavery.
One 8-year-old girl, she was just pulling apart syringes and needles.
Also, the frightening plague of Australia's inland rivers.
You don't have to like him. You don't have to let him live.
And Samantha Riley, behind the golden smile, a fierce will to win.
I think I'd seriously consider shaving my head.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
Back. 8 points to 6. Country over City. One try apiece. And back on his own line, Brett Mullins sending Adam Muir back to them. Tackle count starting to level. 19 to 92.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winning double for tonight is 15 for the
staggering advantage.
3 for the away.
About 15 minutes back in the match. Enjoyed by country. Now here's Daly. He stamped his class on the match with that try for Brandon Pearson. Now Mesher. No markers. If there were, they parted. One didn't remain. They're on the halfway line now as Daly goes off to the right. And Johns kick in as Tuvey comes down the ground just a touch late. Brasher now running away from Danny Lee, but picked off by Brandon Pearson and also by David Barnhill. Now Jamie Ainscough away from Dummy Hart. Terry Hill looking to see who wants it. It's big Mark Carroll, his Manly teammate, who makes the 30-metre line. 8-6, Griggsy conditions at Steelers. Troy Stone, wind very strong, coming straight off the ocean, off the famous Wollongong Ocean, as David Fairley takes a strong hit from Adam Muir, and they still didn't get the former Rothmans medalist. Now, Raper. It'll find the line. He's had a consummate game, Aaron Raper.
He's had a tremendous game, Aaron Raper. He's really bottled up the middle of the ruck for City. Plenty of tackles. He's only behind Fairley and Menzies, the two second rowers who have done a power of work in defence. Shown some deft little touches around the dummy half position as well. And despite the greasy conditions, you've got to say overall the handling has been tremendous. We've only got 7 handling errors in total, both teams, 3 for City and 4 for Country.
So Country now just coming away from their 30-metre line. And Jason Croker, who made one fine bust, hasn't had the ball in his hands a lot. Barnhill now back for Mesher, and he's off and away again from dummy half, and then it was a forward pass from Dean Pay to David Fernand. A sideline comment from Steve Roach.
Yeah, one player I'll give a rap to. He's had a fair bit of criticism over his years in representing football. Is Fairley. He's playing very well. He's offloading the football and he's very aggressive in defence.
So City now. The loose head and feed, and it's Fittler. Of course, Peter talking about Aaron Raper. I'll come back to that in a moment as Walker's kick. Here's a good chance for City. They lead the race. Jorgensen, he'll get a penalty out of it. No, he's ruled that it's been put over the dead ball line. I thought for a moment that he would be obliged to give a penalty.
It's a smart piece of coaching here for Phil Gould. He had Fittler run in, take the first tackle, no fullback at home, and 3 City players racing through, but Jorgensen couldn't dive on it, put it on the feet, and now the Country Boys get a relieving penalty.
Yeah, the referee ruling there that Darren Willis didn't interfere with Peter Jorgensen. It was touch and go. A little shove there after Jorgensen got the boot to ball.
This penalty is now 6-1 in favour of the Country side, so the Boys copping a hammering in that respect.
Fittler asking the question of Paul McLean as Danny Lee brings it back about 5 metres on his own side of halfway, and now David Barnhill taken around the legs by David Fairley, over the top by Troy Stone. And this is Dean Pay, beat the tackle of Menzies. We're 42 metres away now from the City line. We're getting very close to the break. In fact, only a matter of seconds away. And here they go with a charge down the left of the ground. Muir it is. Wishart is there for dummy half work. Beaten to the punch by Mesher. Spread by Johns. Daly is with it. Then it's gone across for Fernand. Then out for Croker. Croker now for Willis. And Willis is going to be put away. And the siren will probably beat Country. They're indicating to go to the air. It is the last tackle. Johns puts in a little kick. And there is Brasher again. And probably it is the way to finish the half on a note that has been one of the highlights, and that is Tim Brasher. A lot of work for him, and there he was again in the right spot at the right time to clean up. So 1 try apiece, and Country leading City at the break by 2 points. We'll be back in just a moment. Peter and Paul will have a look at the match, the first 40 minutes of it anyway, in just a moment.
How does it happen? You're painting a sign or digging a mine, and you strain till you think that you'll burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're leading a man or shoveling sand, you can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
He gave me flowers, but all men do that. He took me to the opera, but that's expected. No. I only knew he truly loved me when I asked him for the thing he cherished most, and he let me have it. But then, life's like that in a Lancer.
Grab some Wiltshire shears.
Or seal your gaps.
Pick a cordless drill.
Or the best dead latch.
There's circular saws.
And knife block sets.
Jack bird saws.
Or socket sets.
It's true value hardware where building's been a lot.
There's great jigsaws.
And electric blankets.
Bathroom heaters.
And bonus drill sets.
Cutlery sets.
And lopping shears.
Heated blankets.
And extinguishers.
It's true value hardware.
There's a Samsung TV to be won in every store.
Porcelain's $1 Million Show sellout is on Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of May, and they've crushed the competition with up to 60% off throughout the store and the largest range of saddlery and country clothing from the Hunter to the Gold Coast. Dryzabone reduced, a Kubra, RM William boots and clothing all reduced, and an oilskin coat free with every leather saddle. Unlined canvas rugs down to $39, plus hundreds of genuine discounts. Hurry into Horseland Coffs Harbour's 2-day $1 Million Show sellout. They won't be beaten on price.
6 men have 3 hours.
You don't believe me. What are you doing up here? Who else is going to do it? You?
To board and rescue Flight 343 5 miles above the Earth. Because it's coming down.
You have your orders. Execute them.
One way or another. Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal.
We're not going to make it. You are.
Executive decision.
Showing at Coff City Centre 3 Cinemas and Rich Twin Port Macquarie.
Tui's Group 2 Rugby League action continues this weekend with Coffs Harbour's Comets taking on Maxville at Advocate Park on Sunday. The Port Macquarie Sharks meet Arara Valley's Axemen at the stadium. Bellingham's Magpies clash with the Warha Blues at Bellingen Park. Nambucca plays Sawtell's Panthers at Coronation Park. And the Woolgoolga Seahorses take on Macleay Valley at the Recreation Ground. Great Tui's Group 2 Rugby League action brought to you in association with NBN Television.
Sunday night at the movies.
Would you mind lending me your wife? Excuse me? For luck.
A billionaire.
You have something that I just don't have.
A husband.
Well, I guess there's limits to what money can buy.
A wife.
You can't buy people.
A proposal.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
Nothing can come between two people's love.
I'd do it for you.
Like somebody else's money.
It's just my body. It's not my mind.
If you were mine, I wouldn't share you with anyone.
Indecent Proposal premieres 8:30 Sunday.
A slender lead for Country Origin in our first representative fixture for 1996. They lead at the break over City 8 points to 6. And statistically, well, it's been a mountain of possession for the Country side. 58% up against 42, 23 uses of the football. And they have an advantage in the line. Breaks down the bottom. Missed tackles and handling errors in these conditions. Very good for both teams. And Paul, what you expect that at this level. And we were never going to have a high-scoring match with the quality of defence.
No, defence has been great, particularly from players like Aaron Raper and Paul Harrigan's come up with some big hits, Mark Carroll. But the City side haven't had too many opportunities to score. The first one they had, but 15 seconds in their opposing quarter before they come up with a try. And it came through Aaron Raper, who I think's been nearly City's best player. And E.T. as well has had a great game defensively, and he loves these opportunities. He doesn't mess around with these ones. Whoosh go, and gets the try for the City side.
Well, when we talk about quality of defence, obviously the one way to get around that or over that is the kick, and on a couple of occasions for both teams that has been very, very dangerous. I think we'll see that again in the second 40 minutes. Yeah. That first try was after 28 minutes. Country did the right thing. They hit back immediately. Some good interplay out wide, again involving Laurie Daly.
This came from a couple of Andrew Walker mistakes. He gave away 2 penalties. That allowed Country to get right down in City's quarter, and here Daly weaving some magic. The City defence just did not read it at all. A bit of interference there through Adam Muir, but look, a fair try. And Brandon Pearson, he's a great young player, and he's done some good things in the few minutes he's been out there.
Yeah, would be enjoying the experience as well. We've got a real tough game coming up here. I think that field position is going to be the difference between the sides.
Yeah, well, I think that City might have the stronger kicking game with the likes of Raber from dubbing half, and of course Brad Fittler's kicking well. I think they can come home in the second half if they get more opportunities to score, Pete.
Yeah, well, it is 8-6 Country at the break. Of course, Commonwealth Bank Cup continues this weekend, and our match from ANZ Stadium is Wavell High up against Mansfield High. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m, but check your local guides. And from this match, we've chosen this as our Coca-Cola Junior Player of the Week.
To the left side, Ware. He looks a little quicker, this half-back, and Leedy gets another go, and he does get the chance on Q. Leedy for the corner. Oh, good try from the centre. The Hooter sound.
Some fairly good backline play here. I thought the ball may have been passed a bit early there from that player, but Leedy it is, beats one around the winger, 2 players to beat into the corner, does it with ease. A nice sunny day in Queensland and some bright attacking football as always at schoolboy level. Once again, we do thank Coca-Cola for their continued support. Tomorrow, round 7 of the Optus Cup. And our first match on Saturday is from Belmore Sports Ground, where Canterbury up against Brisbane. That's at 4 p.m. Really Canterbury looking to get something going. And on Sunday, the footy show, well, plenty of players coming in. Timmy Brash will be there. He's having such a great night tonight at Steelers Stadium. And once again, our special co-host at 12 noon, the Roosters International, Phil Clark. If you'd like to come in and be a part of that show, the audience call there is 02 9906 8352 between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow. And on Sunday afternoon from North Sydney Oval, North Sydney up against St George, a very good game this one. Both teams in very good form. The highlights of this one at 6:30 p.m. But again, check your local guides. Plenty of rugby league. Of course, our rep season has already started, but it's not all rugby league once again. And plenty of action on our cameras on the wide world of sports.
Join us tomorrow on Wide World of Sports when Warren Miller takes us to the mountains for sensational snow ski action. As the future of boxing comes under scrutiny, we talk to world champ Costa Tszyu about his next international bout. And see how Jacques the Giant Killer Villeneuve broke through for his first Formula One win. There's $5,000 fabulous dollars to be won in our Memorable Moments giveaway. And we mark the end of an era as the Speedway fraternity farewells one of the most famous tracks of all. we'll venture into the Bears' Den to find out why Brisbane's AFL heroes are running hot in 96. Take the drop for a super surfing session with an exclusive excerpt from a brand new video release. And enjoy the Battle of the Grizzlies and the Dragons when we go to Bear Park for our big Saturday League special. Join us Sunday morning as John Tapp delivers more tales from the turf on the racing show. You'll be reaching for the smelling salts when the gang drops in for our Sunday edition of the Footy Show. On the golf show this week, Wayne Grady and his love of the game, plus more coaching tips from Greg Norman. On Sunday afternoon, we climb into the flying suit for a Wide World of Sports special, featuring those magnificent machines from the RAAF 75th Birthday Spectacular. Don't miss Sports Sunday this week when we meet Charlie Walsh, the coach from hell who's driving his cyclists to success in Atlanta. And Malcolm Allen, the kid who did it the hard way to earn a shot at Olympic glory. All those features coming your way this weekend, right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Sunday, 6:30 on NBN. The Optus Cup is heating up. Traditional rivals, the North Sydney Bears, are at home against the St George Dragons. It's an explosive encounter. 6:30 Sunday on NBN.
Now for the test, Bill. Which pour-on kills worms for longer?
Ivermectin made 14 days.
But Cydectin keeps on killing worms when the others have given up.
Cydectin kills lice, and it's safe for dung beetles.
28 days. Cydectin wins because it kills worms for longer.
Yeah, we need a locksmith.
Okay, no problem. Have you called the police?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, we'll fix the rest.
Just totally trashed, and there's so much we can't account for. This is the NRMA assessor.
Hi.
Hi.
Just to replace this.
I'd rather have it repaired.
Are you having trouble keeping all your loans under control? Are they all over the place? Home loans, car loans, personal loans, credit cards? At The Greater, we can combine all your loans into one manageable, fee-free home loan. And no matter who your loans are with, we'll handle your transfers and pay all loan establishment legal fees and stamp duty. At just 10% per annum, you'll be back in control in no time. Now that's great.
That's The Greater.
Lincoln are the heavyweights in welding. Now there's a small portable MIG welder from the same family. It's one tough baby. Lincoln's SP170T runs on single-phase power and comes complete with gas solenoid and regulator flow meter. Ideal for the farm or workshop, it's the quality small MIG with the big output. And you can also use stainless, aluminium or flux-cored wires. Born from experience, raised on technology. See it at your Lincoln dealer now. Lincoln Electric, state-of-the-art welding.
6 men have 3 hours.
You don't believe me. What are you doing up here? Who else is going to do it? You?
To board and rescue Flight 343 5 miles above the Earth. Because it's coming down.
You have your orders. Execute them.
One way or another. Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal.
We're not going to make it. You are.
Executive decision.
Showing at Coff City Centre 3 Cinemas and Rich Twin Port Macquarie. 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon live on NBN. The RAAF Show Us the Air Defensive today. Plus, from the USA, the long-awaited B-2B Stealth. The RAAF 75th Anniversary Air Show live from Amberley. 2 o'clock Sunday on NBN.
Welcome back. City versus Country tonight as Friday night football. And Country leading by just the 2 points. 1 try apiece. And let's take a look at the forward work rate, firstly, for the City side.
Well, Steve Roach gave David Fairley a rap, and that's the reason why. Tremendous amount of tackles on his behalf, and very powerful along with that. Aaron Raper's been great. Steve Menzies, you don't see him often high in the work rate, but it's that kind of game. And there's been a lot done by their forwards. While for country, there'll be a little bit less in the tackles department there. You can see they're only 2 in double figures, led by Adam Muir, who's been very strong tonight. Got plenty of punishment. And David Fernand and the rest of the players sharing the workload around.
Paul McLean calling time on now for the second half. And country in the familiar maroon and gold MMI jumpers, running left to right. Always just that difficulty in remembering which side these players are playing for under the new concept. Well, we call it new, but it's been around since 1987. Country very much in this with a good chance, leading by 2. The opinion was that maybe City were coming home or doing the better, as Brasher makes another fine contribution for City, and then sandwiched between the tackles of Dean Pay and Paul Harrigan.
He just keeps coming, doesn't he? Tim Brasher straight through Rod Wishart, which is no mean feat. David Fairley now collared in the centre of the field, 40 out from his own line.
Yeah, but then Brasher got hammered by Pay, and Harrigan got up and started the go again. Oh, he's tough.
Mundine is on for the City side. This is Carroll, slammed into the ground by Barnhill and Johns. And Fittler now supplies for Tuvey to go out and pick up Menzies. And Menzies is wrestled down by Brandon Pearson, who scored the country try. Fittler now drives it down to Brett Mullins, back on his own line. And Tuvey is there leading the chase with Terry Hill. As Mullins prepares to play the ball, let's go down to the sidelines for a half-time comment from Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Phil Gill was very happy with his side's defence in the first half. He'd like to see the boys get back and help Brasher. He's been put under plenty of pressures from the high ball. Said they're having a little bit of luck when they go wide, keep probing out wide. They should get a little bit more football in this half. Anthony Mundine is on for Walker. Tom Riodonicus, he'd like to see his team improve their support play. He said lift the intensity in defence. He thought they dropped off a little bit. He said we've got the wind. Let's use it in the second half. He'd like to see a little bit more organisation from Daly and Johns.
Right, so country. Tommy making the point that they had the wind in the second half. Well, it might fractionally be favouring them. Oh, Wishart picking Brasher up and driving the City fullback, and it's going to bring Wishart before referee Paul McLean.
This did look dangerous, didn't it? Brasher beat a couple once again. Here he goes. That had everything.
Yeah, and again, the arm was between the legs, and that is illegal.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be a report job for sure.
Thank goodness he was cartwheeled all the way over.
I'm wondering whether there might have been a touch of I'm the bloke you ran over 5 minutes ago coming through in that tackle. Now Sirenen's head went back. Was the tackle high? The referee was standing on top of it and allowed it to go. There's Tuvey now, ferrets for an opening. And he's, you can see for yourself, he's dwarfed by Lazarus as they get up and play it. You get a better picture of it. And now Fittler. Raper. Big Carroll. Surging towards the 20-metre line. Play in the centre of the ground. Here's Mundine now. A lot of expectation about his performance. Menzies didn't help. Then he had another opportunity. Raper's pass. Carroll, then Tuvey. Well, they put 5 mistakes together.
They had 5 chances to drop the football and knock it forward, and they didn't. Fittler now puts it in, looking for some runners.
Mullins slides across to clean up. Down inside their own 10-metre line. That is Darren Willis. There's big Harrigan again.
He's lost the football there, Paul Harrigan, but it was a better run on his behalf. He runs very upright, and a lot of times he runs straight, and that makes him a good target for opposing defences. That time he came back at the angle, in behind the play-the-ball area, and had some success.
Yeah, he's denying he knocked it on. He did lose the football there. And if Lazarus will be the first prop chosen for New South Wales, I would think that Harrigan will be the second. I think he's had a pretty good game tonight.
Chance here for City. They've got the back line deep and wide as Mundine works across to his centres, and it's Terry Hill who plays it forward. He had no marker, and Hill very strong from this far out. Is 8 metres out, in fact, as Mundine gets in there to dummy half and answers the call on the right from Tuvey, and then Carroll. Carroll pulled down by Lazarus. So there was the hooker Mesha, and now Raper. Tuvey steps up his left foot. Menzies is there to support, and Menzies is taken in a barrage of defence from Country. City looking dangerous. Raper it is going out left, and then Fittler with a cutout pass. Terry Hill tried to get a one-hander up to Jamie Ainscough, held by Daly and Wishart. Ainscough the dummy half, in for Fittler, rolls it into the in goal, and they do eventually clean up. It'll be a line dropout.
Well, there's a chance there for City, wasn't there, Pete? Because the ball was on the ground for a long time in the in goal, and just not enough chasers.
A dangerous kick. The first Country player coming in went straight over the top. That was Andrew Johns. It was Adam Muir who had to clean up. Steve Menzies arriving just that little bit late.
Line dropout, one of about 45 metres, and Big Carroll is back there winding it up. And the ball comes out. Is he okay, Carroll? McLean calling a halt.
Again, you have to wonder why that was pulled up, unless there was a little Country knock on. It was just a good, strong hit on Mark Carroll. The ball came loose, and it appeared to be cleaned up by the Country players straight away. Shoulder in there from Country second rower. Lazarus cleaned the football up.
Come back with Johns. Running it close to halfway and running it. Dean Pay ridden into the ground by Paul Sirenen. Behind Lazarus, they pick up Harrigan. He runs into a brick wall. It goes back for David Barnhill. And Barnhill taken in a joint tackle from Fittler and Menzies on the halfway line. Daly carries the football, puts on the step, makes 10 metres. And play in the centre of the park. Played back for Cherry Mesha, then for Johns. Holds it back, and then Muir with great hands. And they're down on the fifth tackle just beyond the 30-metre line as Andrew Johns goes to the air. Brasher's not in this one. Oh! Wishart has come down with it and scored! Rod Wishart scores, and the crowd love it. The local boy gets the try. 12-6. Well, where was he in relation to the kicker? But it looked absolutely apple pie. Watch it.
See Wishart taking off. Well, I think he's in line with the kicker, but it's a great take. The kick was a good one, turning the City players around. Ainscough flew high, but nowhere near the football. And Rod Wishart, who's involved in a nasty incident not so long ago, comes up with the third try of the match and extends the City lead to a converted try with the kick to come.
Ainscough, not normally a winger, played most of his career in the centre, not used to taking those high balls. No one bothered to give him support and get behind him in case he dropped it or fumbled it. And as a result, when Wishy, magnificent take by him, had fresh air in front of him.
And an enormous conversion attempt coming up here from Andrew Johns. If he can put this one over and put the team 8 clear, you would think that Country would be in a great position to go on and win this one.
Are they blessed with goal kickers this side? Andrew Johns, David Fernand, and the man that scored the try, Rod Wishart. Here's Andrew now with 2 from 3. Haven't seen his brother into the match yet, have we? Players on and off in this interchange rule. It's sometimes hard to remember, but the boys tell me no. And Andrew has hooked this. So no conversion to the Rod Wishart try. Country leading now by 6. 8 minutes into the second half.
City Origin.
The new V6 Mitsubishi Magna can leap from 0 to 100 in a mere 8.2 seconds. But when it comes to your test drive, we'd prefer you to take as much time as you like. Please consider the new Mitsubishi Magna.
My love, all my kisses.
The boys are back in town for one show only. Doug Parkinson and the Buddy Holly Show live in concert. Miguel Ayesa as Richie Valens, Graham Matters as Buddy, and Doug Parkinson as the Big Bopper. Hello, baby. This is your one and only chance to catch Doug Parkinson and the Buddy Holly Show live in concert. Don't miss it.
6 men have 3 hours.
You don't believe me. What are you doing up here? Who else is going to do it? You?
To board and rescue Flight 343 5 miles above the Earth. Because it's coming down.
You have your orders. Execute them.
One way or another. Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal.
We're not going to make it. You are.
Executive decision.
Showing at Coff City Centre 3 Cinemas and Rich Twin Port Macquarie. Have you considered employment in the earth-moving industry? Queensland Skid Steer Loader Training School will soon be holding courses. Any male or female can enrol now and become a professional plant operator, whether it's an excavator, bobcat, backhoe, front-end loader or dozer. Enrolment numbers are limited and on-site training is available. For more information on this nationally accredited competency-based training, contact Queensland Skid Steer Loader Training School now on 3274 2577 and become a qualified operator.
I'd like you to meet our mum's friends. Yes, your mum's too. Retrovision people. Because your mum's got a friend at Retrovision. A friend who'll give your mum a chance of a free 7 nights before on the Gold Coast. At the magnificent Burley Surf Apartments, Burley Head, a free microwave, and a romantic tree. Dinner, champagne, accommodation, and breakfast at the superb Esplanade. And the superb Jean Baz outfit for free. Just fill out an entry form when you make your next purchase. And Retrovision can make your mum's day.
That's what friends are for.
Monday on Water Rats.
We have reason to believe that Kevin was murdered.
An intriguing twist to the death of Frank's brother.
You get a face, I want to hear about it.
Suspects start surfacing.
Did someone tip you off, did they?
As tempers start fraying.
You should have been looking after him. You should have.
And that's not all that's surfacing.
Another piece of the Jigsaw Man's body turned up. A hand.
Some startling revelations.
If I want to stay in this job, I've got to break up with Terry.
On Australia's hottest new drama.
You are not going to sleep.
Water Rats, 7:30 Monday.
Back at the Steelers Stadium, and third try in the match has been posted. Country leading by 6 as Glenn Lazarus takes a buffeting in the defence. Mesher running into David Fairley and Mark Carroll. Dean Pay now.
This has been much more like the Dean Pay that we expect. His involvement has been high, getting the ball up in very tough fashion.
Johns, diagonal kick that is rolling down into that corner. It will necessitate for Ainscough to try and bring it back. The confrontation with Wishart. Then from pressure. Across the hill. Johns and Mesher in the defence. Ainscough again. Country lifting and getting a lot of support from the crowd. This, of course, the birthplace of so many great country footballers, ultimately Australian footballers. No greater breeding ground, really. They go quick across the ground to Jorgensen. Inside their own 20-metre line. The last tackle is with them. Brad Fittler finds Wishart. Wishart taken this time by Ainscough. Daly had to rush across and then deliver a 10-metre pass. This is Pearson. Just beyond the 20-metre line. Harrigan's wound it right up. Harrigan. Daly on the blind side. Pearson's with him. Pearson tries to bust through again. That's how close to the line he is. Mesha now looking for the call. It's with Dean Pay, and then Johns. He flicks it back for Daly. Daly away from one, standing, looking to unload. Does that. Johns is with it. Johns away for Pearson, and Pearson is put down by Terry Hill. 5 gone. Johns just rolls it into the end goal, looking for the upright to give him some help, and Jorgensen, well, he did well. He came across, read the play, forcing a line dropout.
It's been a tremendous start this second half by Country. Just the fact that they scored the try, but they really have some momentum behind them. Peter Jorgensen's positional play since coming across from Union has been top class. We'll restart now. We'll bring Country back onto the attack once again. With Lazo winding up.
Handoff from Mesha. It's taken from under him by his opposite number. There's Barnhill. Good chance here for Country. They're in the centre of the ground. Harrigan slams it up. There's been no second gear from Paul Harrigan and Glenn Lazarus tonight. Now Daly puts on a little spurt. Pearson tries to run straight over the top of them. 5 metres out from the line. Muir. Then Daly. Now John. Pays with it. There's Pay. Looking to unload. Does that successfully. It's out there for Croker. And good defence going across there from Andrew Eddinghausen. The last tackle. Willis into John. Onto Daly. Daly rolls it in. Intercepted by Menzies. Menzies is outside the 20-metre line. Gets it away. H-Go. They're after him, but they won't catch him. Chasing is Harrigan. And H-Go will canter the last 10 metres. Jamie H-Go scores for City.
Can you believe it? Steve Menzies, we haven't seen a lot of him in attack, but he's plucked the kick out of the air and linked up. Glenn Lazarus did a great job to come across and get the second rower. There's Menzies taking the attempted kick through. Lazarus went low. Beautiful pass to Jamie Ainscough, and big Paul Harrigan, he's in pursuit, his Newcastle teammate. But the scores are going to be all locked up, and it's been against the run of play in this second half.
It's a great game, this rugby league, isn't it? A great leveller. 1 minute. Country on the attack. Daly tries the chip. Menzies, Lazarus did so well here to contain the long striding Manly back rower. Perfect. That's a lock forwards tackle, that one from the big prop. That's a beautiful ball. And from here it was like Newcastle sprint training.
In retrospect, Paul, I guess probably Glenn Lazarus maybe wish he went high to stop the pass being thrown.
Well, I think he was just lucky to get to him, wasn't he? Yeah. This is like a scene from Newcastle training. Harrigan trying to catch Ainscough. He's 1,000,000 to 1.
So Tim Brasher with the attempted conversion. And no problems at all. Brasher on as the first choice goal kicker. 12-12 then. The way the promoters like it. 54 minutes gone. Ricketson is on for Carroll now. Paul Harrigan took one look up and he saw that it was Jamie Ainscough that he was pursuing, and his head went down like a beaten favourite. Troy Stone is back on in 17. And great to see that the selectors have rewarded one of these young St George forwards that have been doing such a grand job for the club.
Well, I think the selectors got back or have a lot of credibility from the sides that they have chosen, because players are there on form. The Andrew Walkers, the Mundines, the Troy Stones, Peter Jorgensen in the starting lineup. And that's exactly what these games are all about. If you play well enough, you should be there.
I wonder, will the same selection processes transpose, though, into the state of origin?
Well, that remains to be seen. As Luke Ricketson gets a touch, he's come into the side, replacing Daniel Gartner. Florimo was to be there, but Ricketson, a late call-up. Pittman, our first receiver.
This is Fairley, who's... Well, that should be a knock-on. It has been called by McLean. Good, very good piece of refereeing, that. been a bit critical of him earlier on, but he's got this absolutely right.
And it's good to see McBlain with this job tonight. He's done a good job in most of his games this season. He's wearing white tonight. He told me before the game that they discarded the blue uniform they've been wearing for white during all the rep games. And he's standing out.
Cherry Hill.
Does some research. No, he doesn't. Paul
does.
It's a sort of like a
marvellous stuff.
Walking Bible in rugby league. Fairly. Was there a tiny knock on there? Troy Stone will argue it. Certainly looked that way.
Well, they haven't been down this end of the field very often. Just a tiny one. And really, those passes like that haven't got to be thrown at this stage of the game.
David Fernand goes back on, and Paul Harrigan comes off.
How have you rated his game, Blocker, the Chief?
I think he's been outstanding, Paul. He's the only real bloke that's really taken the ball to the line along with Lazarus.
And he has taken it forward 18 times, which is a fair way in front of anybody else on the paddock.
It's Danny Lee now. 40 metres out from his own line. And this is David Fernand. Danny Lee, of course, rewarded again on form for his place in the side. He has represented country before, back in Panasonic Cup days. This is the last tackle coming up as they approach the halfway line. And Andrew Johns kicks across to Jorgensen's wing. And here's Peter making a good run. Exciting runner of the football. The other games played here today, Sydney Metros, that's a Metropolitan Cup side. They defeated, beg your pardon, 10-all. My apologies. The Metropolitan Cup side and Country First, 10-all. And just very quickly through the others. Under-19s went to City, 22-12. And the under-17s to City, 16-14. 12-all currently in the number one match as Fittler rolls it along the ground and Mullins proficient as ever. Croker.
Talking about Matthew Johns, Ray, I just wonder whether Tom Radonicus is having a little bit of trouble maybe slotting him in out there. I don't think he'd want to split up Andrew Johns and Daly at the moment. And Cherry Meshes playing strongly at hooker. I hope the youngster from Newcastle does get a run at some stage in this match. As Country through Laurie Daly go the short side. The cutout, no, it's not thrown. Fernand comes up with the lost ball.
The referee is going to call it a knock on and put a scrum down.
This is the thing that Andrew Johns does very often. He holds the football up. He's got a couple of choices on the outside. Sometimes he'll throw the short ball to Fernand. Sometimes the cutout to the outside man. On that occasion it was spilled.
Looking ahead to the choice of the New South Wales side, do you fellows expect Fittler to wear 13, or do you think you'll be in 6 with Daly pushing up?
I hope he's in 13, Ray. I think he's a far better lock forward than 5'8". And I think Daly's best position is in the number 6, so I think they slot in together perfectly.
The other thing is they've got enough strength in the centres with Eddingshausen and Terry Hill.
All right, that leads me then to ask the question about the number 9 and the number 7 as Tuvey just, I think, avoids a heavy shot. And might have just done some leg damage. But it is Fittler who puts it down now inside the 20-metre line, and Mullins is going to come straight up the corridor. A lot of pace. Oh, Menzies has picked him up. Good tackle, Menzies. But Mullins went from standing still to... Look at...
Terry Hill's kicked out in the tackle here to give away a penalty. But Mullins made that look oh so easy, as the great players do, straight around Ainscough, and Steve Menzies. Bang. David Woods cleaned up.
Great cover by Menzies. Look at the divot that they've lifted out of the ground, and Hill it is.
Bit like your one would, perhaps.
Just about every other club.
Shut up. Matthew Johns is warming up as Danny Lee takes it ahead. Now again for Andrew Johns, and then for Daly, and then they bring Fernand back in. He tries to get a pass away. David Woods. It was a valiant attempt by Fernand, but it turned out to be a mongrel of a pass.
It's a move we see a lot of clubs doing now, especially the Canberra boys. Bit of combination there from Daly and Fernand, and Woods on the inside, but the pass wasn't a good one.
Ray, before all of that, I think you were going to get into the halfback hooker situation for New South Wales. I hope that I'm wrong, but I've got a funny feeling as Ettinghausen nearly gets through that we may see a halfback in the hooker position, which I don't think is fair to the likes of Cherry Mesher and Aaron Raper.
Zainsko, 45 metres out from the country line. I'll come back and pursue that a bit further with you in a moment. This is Stone. Matthew Johns is on now. And now it's David Fairley. Jason Croker getting the rest. I take it that Matthew is actually playing in the centres, or has in fact his brother pushed out. We'll just see. As Fittler now kicks across. Menzies is after it, so is Brasher. The contest. Brasher's come down with it. Away for Mundine. Mundine away. And Terry Hill. Terry Hill gets a try. Oh, what a corker.
And again, Tim Brasher, absolutely brilliant. It was a planned move again, with Fittler going to one side of the ruck and kicking back to his chasers on the other side. Tim Brasher up against Brett Mullins. They don't meet too often head-to-head on the paddock, but this time they do, and Brasher has come up with the big play, plucking the ball out of the air. As he's done all game, he's been able to keep going when he looked like he might have been caught. Mundine linked up, threw a good ball to Terry Hill, and he takes David Woods over in the corner to give City the lead.
It's the break they needed. Menzies, the big question mark was whether he remained on side. I thought he did. And Timmy Brasher's had a blinder. Anthony Mundine gets a chance to do something special, and he sets it up nicely for Terry Hill. You see both his shoulders are well bandaged there tonight. Terry's had a lot of shoulder problems, but he takes the City to a 16 points to 12 lead.
How does he know they're well bandaged?
Well, actually, it might be shoulder pads.
I can't see anything. I can't see a jersey.
Don't see it. Don't say, mate. Got a good set of eyes there. Good set of peepers. Tim Brasher, what a magnificent game. And here he is now with a problem with one of those groundside speakers. And not a bad kick, but just wide. So let's have a look at it. 16 to 12 now, the City side in front again.
Country Origin 12.
Mail Zone are clearing all stock with 50% off everything during their end-of-lease sale. All quality Australian designer labels are reduced to half price and stock must clear. Grab yourself a fantastic bargain during this genuine total clearance, on for a limited time only at Mail Zone Park Beach Plaza. Just Golf, the most experienced golf professional team on the North Coast, brings you some great Mother's Day specials from its huge range of discount golf equipment. Get 20% off all ladies' golf gloves. Nike Air leather golf shoes were $139. For mum, only $79.95. These handy ball retrievers are normally $24.95, now only $9.95. Golf umbrellas in assorted colours are also only $9.95 each. And there are lots of other great Mother's Day gift ideas available. So for the right gift for mum at the right price, see the golf professionals at Just Golf, Coffs Harbour.
This is the spacious Daewoo Cielo with power steering and a 1.5 litre engine. And at just $14,950, it's going to go through the roof.
Offer is limited. Available now at Taree Daewoo, Taree.
There's a place by the river in Port Macquarie where the atmosphere is really great. Where you're greeted with a smile, a friendly hello, and how can we help you today? Well, here's an open invitation to join us for a drink. It may be something special to eat at the Port Macquarie Royal Hotels, where good times and good friends meet. The Port Macquarie Royal Hotels, where good times and good friends meet.
You're always welcome at Southwest Rocks, the jewel on Australia's holiday coast. Just a short picturesque drive from Kempsey.
Play the challenging 18-hole golf course. Greens and fairways are always found in good condition. Fully equipped pro shop open 7 days. Tennis courts for hire. Play bowls. At all times, visitors are made most welcome. After your game, visit the Southwest Rocks Country Club. Enjoy the social atmosphere. Play the pokies or Club Keno. The club that has it all. Southwest Rocks, the jewel on Australia's holiday coast.
6 men have 3 hours.
You don't believe me. What are you doing up here? Who else is going to do it? You?
To board and rescue Flight 343 5 miles above the Earth. Because it's coming down.
You have your orders. Execute them.
One way or another. Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal.
We're not going to make it. You are.
Executive decision.
Showing at Coff City Centre 3 Cinemas and Rich Twin Port Macquarie. Top Rugby League excitement continues this weekend with the Tooheys Group 3 Rugby League competition. On Saturday, Laurelton United do battle with Old Bar at Laurelton Oval. Wallenbar District and Gloucester meet at the Nabiac Showground. Wingham Hotel and the Manning Jets perform at the Wingham Sporting Complex. On Sunday, South Taree take on Foster Tuncurry at Jack Neal Oval. Plus the Foster Dragons and Wingham District clash at Harry Elliott Oval. Supported by NBN Television, the Tooheys Group 3 Rugby League. Get a piece of the action this weekend.
Whose gun is it?
Mine.
His wife is charged with murder.
I think that she's lying.
Yes.
She's trapped in a brutal marriage.
Do it twice so the family court doesn't miss it.
Together against an unimaginable case, a twisted mind.
Which of the things I told her does she do for you?
An undeniable desire.
I'm sorry.
Jag sensation David James Elliott and Melrose Play star Daphne Zuniga.
Get on that stand and tell the truth.
I'll tell you the truth.
Degree of Guilt begins 8:30 Monday on NBN.
And back at the Steelers Stadium, Laurie Daly is pushed out into the centres. As Jason Croker came off to make way for Matthew John, so the Newcastle half 5/8 combination there now for country. And Jamie Ainscough tackled back on his own 20-metre line. Aaron Raper using Mark Carroll, and Barnhill went up and did well to contain the big Australian prop forward. Across some quick, snappy passing. Now Eddinghausen, and then it's Jorgensen. He comes in, evasive running, and then a hurdle to try and avoid them even further. Eddinghausen remains on sight. Then from Raper, on for Tuvey. Tuvey scurries up the centre of the ground. Pulled down by Harrigan in combination with Danny Lee. City putting it together, looking good. 5 tackles gone. Fittler goes for the same play again. The chase isn't as good. And Daly comes down with it. Then he makes an incisive run, the country captain.
Well, Laurie Daly did so well then, because Brett Mullins was injured in making a tackle a couple of minutes ago. He can see him. He's just got back on side there to be the dummy half, and Daly saw that and dropped back in cover defence and handled that kick with ease. See Daly dropping back, Mullins in the background way over there, and Daly handles it so well.
I'll tell you who else did well too was this man here, Paul Harrigan. After the break was made by Jorgensen, they had big numbers to the left city. Jeff Tuvey was looking for a hole, and Harrigan closed it very quickly, and he had to cover a lot of ground to do so.
Barnhill. The knock on there brings a round of applause from Timmy Brasher.
Well, Block and talking about the props, you got Harrigan and Lazarus. You can't forget the efforts, though, of Carroll and Ciro. Have been used in spurts tonight and done pretty well.
We've got a microphone problem on the sidelines there. As the scrum is worked by Tuvey. City leading by 4. As Tuvey now unloads to send Fittler ahead. He puts on that little in and away. And Tuvey. Carroll. 12 metres into country area. Raper is smashed down by Danny Lee. Brasher. 20-metre line. Raper again. Go open side for Mundine. He goes high. And again, a test here for Mullins, who's barely had time to recover. And referee McBlame will order the turnover.
There was Timmy Brasher trying to knock the ball back to his chasers. Only knocked the ball on. Country now, they've got to come up with something special. They're running out of time. They've got to get to the other end of the field. They've just got to get themselves a little bit organised.
The Johns brothers might well be the answer to that. Fernand supports, and now they come outside the 30-metre line. Jason Croker is back on. Away from David Woods, and through Andrew Johns for Matthew in 14. 40 metres out from the country line. Mesha. Harrigan.
Well, Brash has been the best player on the field. I think Paul Harrigan's been the second best. As Andrew Johns drills the ball deep, bouncing towards the touchline, finds touch 11 metres out from the city line. Now Country hoping to force a mistake to give themselves an opportunity to get that try.
Sheridan with some problems as a result of this confrontation with Paul Harrigan.
He's really put the hand up, hasn't he, the Chief? I've never seen him run this hard in a game. He's really making them pay the way he's carving up the middle there.
Well, it's the same kind of performance we saw 12 months ago, isn't it, Paul, when he actually picked up the man of the match in a beaten side.
Scrum just outside the city 10-metre line. Ainscough coming off his left wing. 4 points the advantage. And just over 10 minutes remaining. That is Ricketson. Tooby now sensing that the time is right. 30-metre line, Mundine. Fittler, dummy on the inside. No takers. Nobody really with their hand up. Stone. Fitler's kick down for Mullins. Fairly and Ricketson combining to stop the Canberra fullback, the Australian fullback. This is Daly now playing it back for David Woods. Comes away from dummy half, and then Adam Muir tries to go back in behind to play the ball. Cherry Mesha keeps it alive. They go out now. They pick up Andrew Johns. 5 metres into the city half. And Harrigan again. He will not sit down. They take him off, and he gets back out there as quickly as he can. Matthew Johns, an unload there for Daly. Daly likewise for Darren Willis. And 25 metres out from the city line. This is the last tackle. And Matthew Johns has the responsibility of putting it high and across the park. And here goes the jump from Ainscough. And he came down with it nicely. Well done by Jamie Ainscough. Pressure put on him there by David Woods in particular. Brasher. And this was the way Jamie Ainscough saw it.
There's one player who's really put some pressure on the selectors for a starting berth in State of Origin, David Fairley. As strong as Danny Lee comes up with a bone cruncher on Luke Ricketson. Well, he's had a fine game out there, 35 tackles and 13 hit-ups. Matching McLaren and his team second in that department. As Mullins now around Eddinghausen.
Willis staying on his wing. I think Mullins wanted him to come inside much earlier than that. Barnhill is met on the halfway line by Raper and Stone, and a penalty against the tacklers. McLean has kept the penalties down to 12 in all for the match, but it's a very big margin in the penalties to Country. 9-3. Lazarus goes back on. Barnhill comes off for Country. Plays about 20 metres away now from the city line. And Andrew Johns calling it on for his brother Matthew. A decoy run. Oh, it fell apart for them.
Well, it was a play that Newcastle worked so successfully on the weekend against Western Suburbs, as Mundine can't beat Daly. John's brothers floating across and trying to get the ball to Adam Muir. Muir just not expecting it. They did bust their opponents on a couple of occasions last Sunday, not tonight.
So this is Stone now. Sunday, or first things first, of course, tomorrow, you've got a really good match on. Canterbury against Brisbane, 4 o'clock. Let's hope that Canterbury can find some form for that, but I think most of us are living thinking that it's going to happen. And it may well be the Brisbane Broncos that brings the best out in Canterbury. Sunday, we take you to Bear Park for North Sydney and St George, a traditional clash.
And this is the opportunity that Country were looking for. With under 8 minutes to go in this game, they'll have 6 tackles within the 30-metre area of City. And they really need to score in this set of 6 or the next if they can get a kick into the in-goal area.
This is Darren Willis, slithering his way from a vain attempt to tackle. Now David Fernand looking to unload, but Raper and Ricketson combined to put him away. They're out on the 20-metre line as they go forward. Johns, then Andrew Johns, and then it was knocked backwards. And this is David Woods pushing away from Jeff Tuvey. An arc-like run that basically puts him back where he started. Now Mesher, Andrew Johns unloading into Matthew Johns, and then back and across for Daly. And Daly on the 5th tackle is 12 metres out from the line. Mesher to the right for Andrew Johns. He rolls it into the in goal, but there's no chasers on the left. He had chasers on the right. You would have seen Croker taking off in expectation. So Ainsko now comes in and takes it away 9 metres from his own line.
Country really needed to come up with a better play on the last tackle than that. I really think that Andrew Johns knew where the chasers were and nobody really reacted particularly well. They handed the football over to City.
One of the try scorers for City, Terry Hill. This match still very closely poised as Mundine tries to get Menzies into some open pasture. Back now for Brad Fittler again. Only still very young Brad Fittler, but you look at him now and you think of a rugby league veteran. And he plays accordingly. Just handle things so calmly. Well, he appears to. Aaron Raper to the bench. Good effort by him.
Yeah, great game. 30 tackles. Some great constructive play around the rucks, and he set up the try for ET. So he's really in with a chance in a couple of weeks to make that blue jumper.
Peter, very quickly, you're of the opinion that the World Cup halves might dominate. Is that the way you're talking?
I think we'll see Andrew Johns in the hooking position and Jeff Tuvey at halfway.
Okay.
I also think we'll see both Mullins and Brasher in the team. Probably unfortunately for Brasher, he'll be in a wing position, I would imagine. That's what I think selectors will do. Not saying that's what I'd do.
Whatever happens, they'll have a tremendous side. No, geez, they'll be hard to beat.
Let's hope so.
So Stone, as the clock takes us down to the 3-minute mark, and Tuvey more and more running from the Manly captain as the match draws on. It's Fittler. Grubbers in, Brasher was there, and I was about to say he's got it back, but David Woods saving it for Country. Jason Croker saw an opportunity for a try early in the match, Croker, but was run down from behind by the flying Andrew Ettinghausen.
Well, this isn't good enough from Country at the moment with a couple of minutes to go. One out stuff, they're very bunched. It's only late in the tackle count that they come to life. And this is the last now, so I imagine they'll go the high kick. It goes to Daly.
Daly's kick is too full. It's out on the full. Good piece of pressure put on Daly there. They gave him the ball, but they didn't give him enough space.
No, it's about the only mistake Laurie's made tonight. He's had a fantastic game. He's led his side well, and he showed that he's glad to be back in the rep football. He loves the big-time stuff. Played many great games for both New South Wales and Australia. And, tragic, he looks like he might be on the losing side tonight. He can take personal satisfaction from the way he's played.
Fittler unable to actually make a clean break from memory, but his general play has been superb. His kicking game excellent. Keeping the ship very much on course. And that pass, well, Troy Stone had no hope with it. Andrew Walker diving upon it. But the scrum will see, well, I would imagine the last opportunity for country. I don't know what happened there with Troy Stone, whether he lost sight of it. It looked as though it was quite catchable.
Well, they've got to put something on from the scrum win here. Forwards are out of the way. There's 20 metres between the two back lines. Got to come up with something constructive here, country, and do something from this end of the field. Again, that is not good enough.
Well, I think they're looking for maybe a kick now. There was no fullback back there because Brasher had made the tackle. He's getting back now, and both the wingers have dropped back for City.
Strong tackle in the meantime by Anthony Mundine. I must say I thought country was entitled to a penalty from that last scrum. The ball was kept in the scrum by country quite on purpose, looking for a break from the lock, and Fittler obliged, but there was no penalty. That was what they were fishing for. Come across for Daly. He flick passes then for Harrigan. Harrigan able to promote, and then it's away from one John's brother, then to Daly, then across now for Mesher. And Mesher is on the halfway line as he promotes Fernand ahead, and Fernand goes in one side, comes out the other. He's brought the crowd to their feet. Away goes Muir, and a Muir. He's going to win it for country. They're going to need the conversion, but it looks like a formality.
Well, can you believe it? Desperation in the 79th minute. 16-all with a kick to come. I don't know whether they've won it yet. It's not an easy conversion, especially with the pressure. But keeping the ball alive. Big Chief gets a good pass away. Laurie Daly inside to Harrigan. Wrapped up by a couple. The flick pass. Andrew Johns. Laurie Daly again. His second touch. Cherry Mesher going across field, trying to find somebody. It's David Fernand, and he makes the bust. Through the tackle of Mundine and Carroll. And it's a good ball to Adam Muir because Brasher was committed to the other support player. Ainscough chasing. What a finish.
Yeah, what a finish.
Keeping the ball alive. Paul Vaughton not having a lot to say because he's back City. And David Fernand, who's had a fairly quiet game. And Adam Muir, who might have earned a spot on the bench for New South Wales, gets what might be the match winner. Fatty, are you there?
No, it was a great try by country. Look, they've hung in there all game. They deserve the win. Did Johnson get it?
Well, that's what he's got, Andrew. Just 5 metres away to the right of the uprights. He's 3 metres in from the 20-metre line. Test now. He strikes it, and he's got it. And the Novocastrian combination of Adam Muir and Andrew Johns have snatched victory for country by 2 points. I don't know who wrote the script, but it finished beautifully. Third victory, 10 times they've played this style of football, and the third victory for country, and the third time captained by the number 6 Laurie Daly. Tremendous finish to a game that was played in very, very trying conditions. And 18-16, and you can see this is exactly what it's all about. When City plays country, the players get together, they smile, they exchange their congratulatory shakes of the hand, and I think Laurie is saying, come on fellas, let's go and thank the crowd for coming. But 18 points to 16. We'll have the man of the match for Optus and Footy Tab on the other side of this break.